Globe Earthers are taught that the reason the North Pole star cannot be seen from southern locations like
Whoa,
Australia
whoa,
or
whoa,
New
whoa,
Zealand.
whoa, whoa, whoa. And whoa. For one, why? Sorry if you're hearing some weird noises, but I was just trying to get my life together here. Why is the video playing? I didn't give an intro. And more importantly, why is there a flat earther on my channel? And even more importantly, why is it Eric Dubay? I'm not a fan. I don't want to cover flat earth stuff. Man, I really don't want to do this. But, fine, fine. I'll do it. Give me a second. Let me restart this. Alright, well, since I don't have my normal get up here, screw it. Syncing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And clap. Okay. That's slightly better. I apologize for the clapping if you're wearing headphones, but Eric Dubay decided to just invade the channel without me, being ready. Whew. Okay. Let's do this properly. Hello, you beautiful individuals. Obviously, today we are looking at Eric Dubay, a flat earther, because of reasons. No, it's because somebody asked me to. They didn't specifically tell me to look at Eric Dubay. They just said a flat earth video in general. So, to make them happy, I'm obliging. I don't know why. Anyway, before I get started, I will put it in the description too, like the timestamp of where the proper reaction video part of this starts. I just have to do a quick little intro thing here. One, alright, just wanted to answer a couple questions. So, the some of these will come from comments, other emails, other, you know, just whatever social media message. Why do I make videos that are some video games playing, let's play things, and some reactions and other random stuff? Quite frankly, because it's my channel and it's just what I want to do. I mean, I don't really have a good reason. Where I want this channel to go, I definitely am passionate about looking at misinformation, especially when I consider it dangerous. Flat Earth, I don't consider dangerous, which is why I don't really come to this very often. But and some of you might be a little confused about that, because why would I consider like Ken Hovind and Ken Ham dangerous? I do, because it's not the age of the Earth thing. That does bother me, but that's more of just a personal, kind of annoyance for denying science. It's more that they, at least Ken Ham, I'm assuming Kent Hovind's kind of in the same camp, but though I can't confirm that for sure, they deny climate change. And that to me is extremely dangerous. Like, I understand that climate change has became, it's very politicized now. We look at it as, it's almost, at least here in America, it's almost like the left think climate change is this horrible thing that's going to destroy us all any day now, and the right thinks, oh, they're overreacting, it's not that bad. It's not really like that. I mean, that's a very oversimplification of things, but as a general rule, it's sort of like that. But the problem is that's not the reality. The reality is scientists, the majority of scientists, especially climate scientists, the most important ones, the ones that study the climate, can see that there is a major issue, and it's not stopping. The amount of carbon and various other contaminants in the atmosphere creating this greenhouse effect is accelerating at a rate that is not only terrifying but potentially lethal to mankind, to the world. Yeah, so that's why I don't. That's why I focus more on stuff like that, and I will. This will grow more from that. I won't. The reason I like to look at Ken Hovind and Ken Ham is because I also find it funny. Like, it's a good way to talk about this information, but also laugh at it too. And their worldview I just find hilarious because it's so ridiculous. Same with flat earthers. I do find their worldview unbelievably funny. It's just, it kills me every time. I mean, they are so serious about this, and it's just, I don't get it. Eric Dubay is kind of an oddball. I don't. To me, he seems more like a. How do I put it? Kind of like if you ever heard of a man called Hans Wormhat. Sir Sick has covered him a fair amount. They're kind of in the same boat to where they seem to cling on to a conspiracy theory of any kind and just run with it, which is fine. I get it. It's for the views and everything. Eric Dubay definitely seems to focus a lot on flat Earth. Actually, give me 1 second. All right. So if we look at his channel, you'll see there's obviously a lot of flat Earth stuff, but there's different things. The declassified Operation Northwoods, Vietnam Gulf War. Like he doesn't just do flat Earth stuff. The Christopher Columbus deception. Okay, that one I definitely want to watch because I feel like he's gonna mess that up so bad. But for the most part, he seems to focus on, you know, flat Earth. He does definitely go beyond that and look at other things, but this is definitely, as you can see, I've watched some of his videos. That's just on this channel. I have another channel that I actually watch YouTube with. That's the one that I do the majority of the watching. These are more just, like this one actually, that was like from a year ago when I originally covered that. And then these are just more failed video ideas, things I started doing and then didn't like it, so I stopped. And I'm not a fan of covering flat earthers just because it's too low hanging fruit. It's too ridiculous. There's just nothing there to really, like I said, nothing there that's really that threatening. But at the end of the day, it is misinformation. They are denying science, but of course only a particular type of science, not particular type, particular types of sciences. They love science when it comes to computers. Obviously, that's how they make these videos, and just a bunch of other aspects of their life that they're going to be fine with. But then for others, they say no, that's crazy. It's the same with Ken Ham and Ken Hovind. It's the same crap. Like, they ignore what they want to ignore and accept what they want to accept. When in doubt, it's all science, and it just bugs me. Anyway, another question I get, well, less of a question and more of an accusation, is that I'm this far left, whatever person, and I'm not. Like, do I lean more left? Probably. I would assume it definitely depends on the issue. Some issues I'm going to lean more liberal, and some I'll lean more conservative, and some I'll be more, authoritarian on, and some I'll be more libertarian on. Like, it depends. It's a spectrum. That's what I've mentioned before, that most people fall in this kind of center view, and then, we kind of lean one way or another, but again, it doesn't really matter. I'm not that into politics. You won't hear me talk too much about them because I just don't care. I've always said the government doesn't care about me, so I don't care about them. It's just how it goes. At the end of the day, I'm just another tax dollar for them. So, this is odd. Why isn't Polaris visible from Australia? Obviously, it's a simple question, or a simple answer. It's not visible because you can't see through the Earth. It's just how it goes. Australia's on the southern hemisphere of the Earth. They can't look up and see through the planet, so obviously you're not going to see Polaris. I imagine Mr. Dubay here is going to have a wildly different theory, so without further ado, let's get into this and get it over with.
Globe Earthers are taught that the reason the North Pole star cannot be seen from southern locations like Australia or New Zealand is because it is hidden behind the supposed curvature of their globular Earth.
Okay, a couple things there. One, Globe Earthers is an ignorant term. Like, you're called Flat Earthers because you believe the Earth is flat. Globe Earthers don't use that as their identity. We don't believe the world is a globe and then that's it. We know the world is a globe because it's been proven countless times. Like, even though they'll say these pictures aren't real and blah blah blah, they are. Sorry, people have been to space. It's a thing. So yeah, that's dumb. And hidden behind the curvature. I mean, yes, technically, but it's hidden, it's obscured by an entire planet, our Earth, and you can't see through it. Just like from the north, you can't see the Southern Cross, which on the flat Earth doesn't make any sense. You should be able to see both. I can't wait to hear how he explains this.
Similar to what is taught about boats disappearing beyond the horizon.
That's another great one. I'm so sorry for stopping it like this. I will try to let more play. But they always say this. They go the boat over the horizon thing and then they use their Nikon P1 millionth or whatever and bring it back into view, but they don't like keep watching and then get a more powerful zoom. Eventually you'll get to the point where you can't bring it back because of the curvature.
They claim these boats, and the pole star, are disappearing behind the physical curvature of a globe, and insist if the Earth was truly a stationary plane, that Australians should have no trouble viewing Polaris.
Well, yeah, because it makes sense. If you have a disk, there's nothing in the way, why wouldn't we have. And even more so, this Polaris will be in the center of your disk. So why can't they see it? That doesn't make sense. I'm sure he's going to try to explain this, but it's going to be dumb. And more importantly, let's go to the Southern Cross. How can, say, somebody on. How can two people, not on completely different sides of the Earth, but different parts of the Earth, to where if they both look south, they should be looking completely different directions. How can they both see the Southern Cross at the same time? That doesn't make sense. I'm talking like 4 or 5 hours apart. Anyway.
The fact of the matter is that all stars positioned north of a southbound traveler gradually decline overhead the farther the observer travels southwards, just as all stars positioned south of a northbound.
See, right here is perfect. Okay, so look. So, let's go over here to Australia, all right? So, if you have someone here looking south, follow this line. That's south for them. And then you have someone over here, let's say follow this line. See, two completely different directions, yet somehow they can both see the Southern Cross. Doesn't make any sense. And that's the other issue, is that every one of these people are going to be looking south. That does not make sense. More importantly, how does the sun work? You say, and I've seen multiple models where Mr. Dubay himself has said that the seasons work, supposedly, because the sun moves through these rings here. All right? Well, that doesn't make sense, because either one of two things has to happen. Either one, say if the sun's here, it has to travel slower than the one out here. This one has to travel faster than the inner one, which we would be able to observe. Or somehow this is the problem of trying to explain this, because it just doesn't make any sense. It is so illogical. And another one, why can't you show the seasons and the day-night cycle at the same time? Why do you have people down here at the southern tip of Argentina that can see 17, 19, whatever hours of daylight, but you can't show that? You don't show it accurately. Whereas on a globe, since that's what the Earth is, they do. And they can also at the same time show seasons.
On traveler gradually decline overhead the farther the observer travels northwards. Likewise, all stars located north of a northbound traveler gradually rise overhead the farther the observer travels northwards.
And more so, why in the north? How do you explain the counterclockwise and clockwise rotation of stars from the poles? How do you even have that at this ice wall thing? Like, that doesn't even make sense at all. Like here, okay, it somewhat works because it could be spinning above you. But down here, how does that work? How do you have that spinning motion like that at a pole where the pole is constantly, well, I guess if it's not moving, it's just stationary. So how do you have that spinning over on this side and over on the other side? That does not make sense at all.
While all stars located south of a southbound traveler gradually rise overhead the farther the observer travels southwards. This phenomenon has absolutely nothing to do with the supposed curvature of a globe, and everything to do with the law of perspective.
Well, it doesn't though, because stars don't just move on a globe. I mean, they do. Yes, stars are moving, but the reason the reason they're that motion is like that is because the world spins. Like, what do you? And you're freaking your dude, whatever his name is, Bob, which I do believe passed away. I could be wrong about that, but I thought I heard that. So sympathies to the family and all. I'm not trying to whatever just be extremely rude to a dead man, though he did believe a ridiculous thing. In his little flat Earth documentary, showed that the world, the 15 degrees per hour, like he showed that, he proved it with his little gyroscope thing. So how do you explain that? Either your flat disk is rotating, which it should be because that would explain things a little better, but not much, or you're saying that everything he said was wrong and he's not a real flat earther, I guess? I don't know.
Which dictates that the angle and height at which an object is seen diminishes
And see this doesn't make sense. This
the farther one recedes.
That's not how stars rotate, especially down here at the poles. That is not how they rotate. That does not make sense. And if you had, listen, we have extremely powerful telescopes. And some of them are not even that expensive. You can go get a fairly decent telescope for 100, $200 to where you should easily be able to bring in this Polaris, from wherever the hell you want if you're on a flat disk like this. But for some reason you can't. Wonder why that is.
Proceeds from the object, until at a certain point the line of sight and the seemingly uprising surface of the Earth converges to a vanishing point.
Receding objects appear to vanish bottom. Okay, yes. No. Never mind, just keep playing.
In this case, the horizon line, beyond which the object becomes invisible. Thomas Winship wrote, "If we select a flat street a mile long, containing a row of lamps, it will be noticed that from where we stand, the lamps gradually decline to the ground, the last one being apparently quite on the ground. Take the lamp at the end of the street and walk away from it 100 yards, and it will appear to be much nearer to the ground than when we were close to it. Keep on walking away from it, and it will appear to be gradually depressed until it is last seen on the ground, and then disappears."
Yeah, hold on.
Now,
There we go. Yes, but no. Like, you're talking about just using your naked eye. Use one of your stupid Nikon whatever cameras, or use a telescope, binoculars, whatever. Then all of that changes. So none of this works. None of it. None of what you're saying works unless you're just using the naked eye, which would be dumb.
according to the astronomers, the whole mile was only depressed about 8 inches from one end to the other, so that this 8 inches could not account for the enormous depression of the light as we recede from it. This proves that the depression of the pole star can and does take place in relation to a flat surface.
But it doesn't, because you could bring it back into view. You're literally debunking yourself here. I don't even like to use that word, but you're being so ignorant. You just said in the beginning about boats going over the horizon, and then you love to talk about how you can bring them back into view. So why can you not bring the star into view? That doesn't make sense.
Simply because we increase our distance from it, the same as from the street lamp. In other words, the further away we get from any object above us, as a star for example, the more it is depressed, and if we go far enough, it will sink, or appear to sink, to the horizon, and then disappear. Furthermore, globe earthers always mention visibility issues specifically with Polaris, because it can only be seen by observers north of the equator, which could seemingly fit their narrative of disappearing due to curvature. Many other stars and constellations, however, are visible for a much wider spectrum of observers, far beyond what would be possible on a globe.
No, it's not. You're just an idiot, and you don't understand. Regardless, here, this is perfect. Right here. Like, this is a bad example, but okay, so the stars do this. All right? They do that at both poles, but in different directions. How is that possible? How?
For instance, Ursa Major, very close to Polaris, can be seen from 90 degrees north latitude, the North Pole, all the way down to 30 degrees south latitude. The constellation.
And what about beyond that? And if you can't see it beyond that, why not? Because you would be able to bring it back into view with a telescope or something, right? This is, I was gonna say we're done, but there's only a minute left. We're gonna let this full minute play.
Vulpecula can be seen from 90 degrees north latitude all the way to 55 degrees south latitude. Taurus, Pisces, and Leo can be seen from 90 degrees north all the way to 65 degrees south. Aquarius and Libra can be seen from 65 degrees north to 90 degrees south. The constellation Virgo is visible from 80 degrees north down to 80 degrees south, and Orion can be seen from 85 degrees north all the way to 75 degrees south latitude. Observers on a ball Earth, regardless of any supposed tilt or inclination, should not.
Okay, real quick. I'm sorry, I was trying to let it all play, but first off, you're talking about constellations. Constellations are far bigger than a single star, obviously. But that's not even the thing I'm mad about. Right here. Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. All of this is extremely misleading. Like, especially the first one, is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. Yes, true, but a better way to look at it is it revolves or rotates once every 24 hours. Then you can then comprehend how slow that actually is. 1,000 miles per hour sounds super fast. Oh my gosh, crazy speeds. But it's not. It's really slow when you're talking about the size of the Earth. The Earth is massive. Well, quite frankly, it's actually really small if you compare it to other things. But compared to us, humans, the Earth is massive.
Not logically be able to see this far. And once again, rather than the declination of the pole star proving the globe, it provides yet more evidence that Earth is a stationary plane.
Okay, no it doesn't, but more importantly, they always do this. Instead of trying to disprove, not even disprove, instead of trying to ask questions that you think can disprove the globe, why don't you try proving the flat Earth? Or even better, do what real scientists do and try to disprove the flat Earth. Because that's what real science does. They find a theory, then they try with everything they can to disprove it, to show that it's wrong. Because if at the end of the day, if you go through everything trying to show that it's wrong, and then you only come up with proof that it's actually right, chances are you're right. But you don't need to prove the world's a globe. We know it is. But you have to prove the world is flat. The burden of proof lies on you. There is way more people that know the Earth is a globe than believe the Earth is flat. But anyway, I'm done with this, thankfully. I do plan on trying to release another one today, a quick one about Kent Hovind, but I don't even know if it's about Kent Hovind. It's on his channel. I saw it and it looked, I think he just released it today, which is why I wanted to do it. But anyway, we're done with this nonsense. We probably won't come back to another flat earther unless for some reason this video does well. Then unfortunately I won't have a choice. But provided this video does not do well, fingers crossed, we will not be coming back to flat earth for quite some time because it's ridiculous. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.